Hey everybody, good evening. It's Monday, October 18th, 2021. This is Ben Capozzi with Broad Shoulders Farm in beautiful Halifax County, Virginia, Zone 7. And I'm putting every birdie to bed and I'm packing up the farm for the evening. But I wanted to take a quick moment and show you the progress on a new greenhouse, a true greenhouse. Well, it's still made out of cattle panels, but this one is not going to have birds ran through it. I'm not growing things in here for the birds. I'm using it for seed starting, which has been a real problem here on farm because it's like without a dedicated structure, there's nowhere that is safe from the bantam menace. The bantams get out, the geese get out. Wherever I put any kind of nursery plants or anything, the birds always find them and often wind up destroying them. So I have decided to go ahead and make a dedicated real greenhouse. So let me show you what that looks like at this stage right now. I'll flip the camera around and we'll talk about it. Hey, Red, my Americana Roo, who's been with me since the beginning, 2018. Hi, sweet boy. I don't have any treats. I'm sorry, guy. We did have treats earlier today. Okay, so this is the new greenhouse. It's another cattle panel structure. This is definitely my biggest one yet by quite a bit. Previously, the biggest one was a 4-panel greenhouse that was about 7 foot by 16 foot. That is over here. That was, I think, the subject of my last video that I'm still working on. But I've been off farm most of the day today and honestly most of the last week. So I've only been able to put in like an hour or two here and there on this for the past few days. Hi, Bluebell. What's going on, baby? They're all over there. They're over there. Go say hey. Oh, be careful. Bluebell's my cotton patch goose, and her brother Tex is my cotton patch gander in there. Anyhow, previously I think I'd said the biggest one was that one over there, which is 4 panels long, 16 feet long by a little over 7.5, I think, feet wide, maybe 8 feet. I can't remember exactly what I made it, but that was the biggest. And before that, the biggest was this one with 3 panels. It's a 2-panel, a 2-panel, a 3-panel, a 4-panel. This one is a 5-panel, and this one I'm actually going to cover in greenhouse plastic. I've said this in other videos before. Don't use the contractor's sheet plastic that you can get at the big box stores. It's only good for a season, and it degrades terribly in the sun. It has no UV protection, and it will create plastic flakes that you will practically never be able to get rid of. So this will have true greenhouse plastic over it. The dimensions on this one, I said it's 5 panels. I've got them all in except for the last one here. But it is... Did you see Ginger's kid? She flew over there. Usually she hops up on the duck house and flies all the way up into that pecan tree and hangs out up there. Anyhow, I'm sure she'll make her way up there tonight. This one is 21 feet long. So from here to there is 21 feet. The span across here is 11 feet. At the center, the top of the ridgepole is just over 7 feet, which is plenty of room for me. And I think plenty of room for most folks, honestly. It's quite spacious. It's oak footing. It's all oak, and of course I didn't have boards that were 21 feet long, but I did have, I think, some 16s was the longest I had, and I added like another 55¼ inches or so. So I definitely had to join them. I think my dad calls that creating a scab, to join the 2 pieces. The top rail is pine 2x4s. The bottom is solid oak. These little risers to bring this this top rail up are 24 inches tall, and I brought them up just about 1/2 inch shy of the tippy top, so 1/2 inch there, so that I could rest the cattle panels on top. And then I've got the giant galvanized fence staples to hold these in place. And I believe the way I measured this at 11 feet, that gives me room for a 30-inch bed, an 18-inch lane, a 30-inch bed, an 18-inch lane, and another 30-inch bed. I think there's room for at least that. So I am going to be doing some growing in here. It's not just for seed starting. This is directly south. North, obviously, then is directly behind us. There is no area right now on the farm for me to orient this thing east-west, which may be more desirable depending on different factors and where you are. But for me, this is the best place for this, so this is where it's going. This whole end will be closed up with no access except for a window for ventilation. I actually have a really nice couple of fig trees that I'm going to put out here to absorb lots and lots of heat and sun. Hey guys, these are my two new cayugas. They've only been out of the brooder for about 3 or 4 days, but they have bulked up in size quite quickly. But these are cayugas from Fat Hen Farms up in Connecticut that we hatched from eggs. My friend Megan Harris Homesteader incubated them, and I'm super happy that they, out of a dozen eggs, only 2 hatched, which was frustrating, but at least the 2 that hatched were both ducks and not drakes. So cayugas lay black to a charcoal egg, especially earliest in the season. So I'm very excited to see what these girls start putting out in the spring. High hopes. So I've got to add the next cattle panel down here on this end. I do have an old storm door from a back porch door that we replaced at my house that I'm going to bring up here, and that will be the main door, the only door here. And I think I've talked before about these giant IBC totes that I have. I'm going to put one over on this side and one over on this side, fill them with water to act as a thermal sink inside the building to help retain heat overnight. But also, you know, we don't get super cold. It's very rare for us to have temperatures below 10 degrees and extremely rare for us to have temperatures below 0 degrees. So I think that little bit nudge that maybe comes from the passive heat released by those 2 tanks will be great. But also it's a way to just have extra stored water in here, because of course once I close it up as a greenhouse, there's not going to be any more natural rain infiltration. But I do have some, I think, interesting plans for what I want to do with this. There's going to be a porch over here on the north end that angles down. I'm going to completely redo this, which was a propagation table, and turn it into my conditioning, which is basically clean up and prep for when stuff comes out of the garden and then it gets ready to go to market. I'm going to hopefully try some interesting things to channel that water through here and retain it. And with the little porch roof that's going to be over here on the north end, I definitely want to get some guttering up and direct that rainwater into these IBC totes that'll be here in the corners. So there's a lot to do. I'm pretty excited. And I did have to go onto YouTube first to even find out if this was doable, because I'd previously never made one other than that one down there that was wider than about 7 feet. And I needed to see if it was possible. And there's actually a couple folks on YouTube that have 10 by 20 cattle panel greenhouses, which was very good. So I just went a little more. I went 11 because this board I think was originally 14, but I just wanted to see how wide I could get this thing. The cattle panels are 16 feet long anyhow, but I wanted to see how wide I could get this and still have it be practical, especially with it being lifted up here 2 feet onto this rail. I mean, it's plenty of room. It's about as much room as I would say is in a standard hoop house, the long high tunnel, maybe a little more. So I think it's going to be fine. The other ones that I'd seen on other YouTube channels, again, they were maybe by 20 feet, which is weird because the cattle panels don't work out that way. You have to come just shy of 21 unless you want to cut a cattle panel, and I did not, because then you just have a leftover piece that you can't really do anything with. And also you got to have like a grinder and all that, which I don't have. So that's how it's going to be. I'll be spending more time this week trying to get the ends framed up so that when I have some help, friend of the farm Rachel coming in on Wednesday and Thursday, I would love it if we can actually get this thing skinned. That would be great. Then we can start building the beds and get all this stuff ready for the coming season. Didn't buy any cattle panels. I've been repurposing or cannibalizing them from my tomato trellis system over here, which was lifted straight from, I think her name is Jess, from Roots and Refuge Farm. It's a YouTube channel, lots of good content. And I did use this for a season and it was great 2 years ago. I didn't use it at all this season. It obviously got way overgrown, but my conclusion after using it one season is this is overbuilt for me. I can keep these T-posts in here and just run string or wire and get basically the same result and free up these cattle panels for other projects. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So just a little update on my true, I think, greenhouse and certainly my biggest cattle panel structure yet. That's where I am right now. I will keep you posted. Questions, comments, concerns, helpful critique, always welcome. Wherever you are, I hope that you are well and doing fine, and the same for all those you love and care for. And you can follow me and more stuff from the farm at Broad Shoulders Farm on Facebook and Instagram. The geese are going to bed, so I need to start putting everybody else to bed, and I'll catch you guys hopefully later this week with another update. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.